I am with my good friend, Nurse Erin Dinn. Hi, Erin. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Not bad. So we first did a video back on March 19th. We published it. And on the March 23rd, Governor Holcomb did his Indiana stay-at-home order. So,
hmm
and now he just extended it for 2 more weeks. So I thought it'd be a great time to catch back up with Nurse Dinn. And what has changed in the 2 weeks since we met?
A lot, actually, a lot has changed. So I looked over our video. I watched it earlier just so I could kind of prepare for things that needed updated. But that's one of the biggest things is the stay-at-home order we'd kind of talked about before. Washing your hands is so important. That's still very important. But our kind of front line of defense here in our priority is really staying at home at this point. And so there have been some changes with the CDC as well. One thing that we had talked about was mask use, and I want to touch again on that. As far as, do we want to use a mask? Do we not? Why? And what has kind of changed with the CDC's recommendations on that as well. But staying at home, really, if you don't live with the person, don't go to see them, and that's the rule of thumb there.
Now, okay, just the bunch of information you just packed into that sentence, but
Yeah.
what is the biggest thing? What's the deal with masks? Give us the lowdown on that.
So we kind of talked about that before, and before we talked about don't wear a mask because it doesn't help. At that period of time, before that, the city kind of shut down. People were spending 6 to 10 hours a day outside, right? So you're going to restaurants and doing those things and trying to social distance in the sense of staying 6 feet away from people. So that period of time is way outside of how long you should be wearing a mask, is 6 to 10 hours. Now, with everything shut down, and you're really only spending 1 to 2 hours outside of the home, the CDC is recommending that you wear a mask. It's really important in that time period that 1 to 2 hours is well within a reasonable time that a mask is effective. So they have their disposable ones and their cloth ones that you can make at home. It's very important that you're using those correctly. The disposable paper ones, when you're done with it, don't reuse it, throw it away. The fabric ones I think are really nice because you can wash those. But just make sure that you're washing them in between use. So sorry, my dog is crying up there. So
that's part of the new normal. Kids and dogs acting crazy.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And so with the disposable mask, if you go out even for like 15 minutes and you come back, just toss those out.
Yeah, just throw it away. With the fabric masks, I mean, if you can make it so you have 2 or 3 of them and you go out to the grocery store and come back, just throw it right into the laundry, and you can wash it in hot water. And my wash machine has like a sanitized setting, so if you have one of those, that's great. But just hot water will do the trick, and laundry detergent.
And the masks, is it to protect the people from yourself if you're possibly infected, or is it to prevent spreading? What has changed so dramatically in these past 2 weeks regarding the mask? I'm just super curious about that.
So both ways, and the biggest reason why we've gone from don't wear one to yes, wear one is that time frame, because the amount of time now that you're going to be spending outside is 1 to 2 hours, whereas before, when we weren't social distancing and we weren't having this order to stay at home, people were outside for much longer than that mask could be effective. And that's really the big change. You're helping prevent the spread because you can be asymptomatic and not know that you're carrying it, and you don't want to give that to other people, but as well as not contracting it from someone else.
And then, Erin, what about gloves? Should we be going out wearing gloves when we're shopping? What is the deal with that?
So the glove thing is, with everything that you use, no matter even a vehicle, right? You want to use it properly, or else it's not effective. So the proper way to use gloves is you want to wash or sanitize your hands, then put the gloves on, and then wash and sanitize your hands and change those gloves in between every task. So what I've seen in my experience going to the grocery store, somebody's wearing a pair of gloves and they grab their produce, they touch their face, they grab their phone, they're touching the cart, and they're wearing that same pair of gloves throughout their entire time at the grocery store. And that's, you're essentially just spreading germs from one place to another, to yourself, to your phone, to everything. So what I would recommend, if it's really impractical to wear gloves and use them practically in the appropriate way at a grocery store. So if you take some hand sanitizer with you, and in between those touches, just go ahead and sanitize your hands, and then you'll be fine.
Okay, that's perfect. And then, you know, you're a nurse, you're actually out there, you're in the front lines. What should the person watching this be doing?
So the biggest thing, like I was saying before, our front line is don't leave the house. If you can at all avoid it, don't leave the house. Like I said before, if you don't live with that person, don't go visit them. So it really is unfortunate that kids aren't being able to see their grandparents, and they don't go to the park. And even though you think the park, we're outside, you're touching that equipment, we're kind of doing those things that can transmit germs. But you know, going to have a barbecue with your neighbors, and you have 5 people there, and you think, well, you know, it's under that however many people, 10 people that can gather, then we still don't want to do that, because every time you come in contact with somebody else, you're putting yourself and that other person at risk as well for getting sick.
So stay home. That's the big thing. Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So things you can do, obviously anything inside your home, if you clean and look online and find some new recipes, you can do that stuff. Try some new things, but it's fine to go outside and do some yard work and have the kids play outside and go for a run and do those kind of things. So it's not necessarily that you can't go outside of your front door, but really kind of, if you are going outside, avoiding other people and maintaining that 6 feet, and not going to a place that's going to be crowded. If you don't go to the park where there might be other people, or you're touching other equipment, or if you can avoid those kind of things at all costs, basically at this point, then that's best.
Thanks so much for talking with us, Erin. I really do appreciate it.